I've been heavy on my grind, putting value on my time.
Hey guys, welcome back to Mone's Curvy Closet podcast, and welcome back to the YouTube version of my podcast. How are you guys doing? It is what's today? Actually, I'm going to do my very best to get this podcast out today in real time. Today is September 12th, a Friday. Happy Friday. I'm going to try my best to get this podcast out today because what I want to talk about is what everybody is talking about, and it's still fresh on everyone's minds. And there's a lot of think pieces going on, and of course, I have to join that. Um, and instead of giving my because of the I don't want to say tragedy, but because of the seriousness and the severity of this situation and how everything happened, I wanted to give my full, authentic thing piece, if you will, on my podcast. I haven't really said what I really wanted to say on my social medias. Um, Everyone knows who watches me or who follows me know I have no problem addressing certain things and giving my opinion about what's going on in this world. But this one I wanted to say for my podcast, and I actually think I want to start doing that in general, which I mean, I guess that's what a podcast is for, right? Being able to give your full, authentic self and truth and what you really feel about things. Because, social media platforms like TikTok and Facebook and Instagram are heavily monitored, and restricted. So I'm going to start giving my think pieces of certain things that may go on in the political world or wherever, drama, things of that nature. I'm going to start giving my full opinion, here first, before giving it to the other platforms. So anyway, before I go into that, I do want to give out some church announcements, right? Make sure you guys check out my website, monescurvyclosetllc. I'm going to do my best to try to start pushing my website. There's a lot of things that I have on my website that I really want you guys to support. That support it allows me to continue on with my platform and to make it grander, and to make it as big as possible. So going on there and just do a little shopping, if you will, and just support your girl. I'd really love and appreciate it. I have some ebooks on there. If you are a plus size woman, not even just a plus size woman, but a woman who needs a little bit of encouragement in your physique, in your mental, I have an ebook on there for all shapes and sizes of women. And I also have a journal if you're starting your mental health journal, a journey, I should say, which I'm currently on. And I think it helps document what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. So if you are into things like that, please make sure you check out my website, monescurvycloset.com. I do have some apparel and accessories on there as well. So make sure you just check that out and support your girl if you believe in this platform. Also, make sure you guys download my podcast. My podcast and my YouTube channel are my babies right now. I am trying my very best to focus solely on those two platforms because it's just very passionate to me. So if you are watching the YouTube version, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Whether you agree or disagree, engagement is always the best way on these platforms. And make sure you download my podcast and also follow my podcast and all those good things. And let me know what you think. Again, good or bad, engagement is always needed. So, now if you want to leave something bad, then, be prepared because I do clap back. Okay. um, but anyway, so that's my church announcements. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Now, I do want to say this before I get to the nitty gritty. I promise I'm going to get there. Let me say this because this actually just happened. I want you parents to be mindful and stay close to your children regarding social media because they will get cursed out by me. Okay. I had, it was a little kid that came under one of my videos that I made about my son. And him taking out the garbage, right? I'm sure all parents have had this where you had your child take out the garbage. There were some boxes next to the garbage and they just took out the garbage trash bag and left the boxes there, right? I made a video, a little innocent, funny video, whatever. And I posted it on my Instagram and I posted it also on my TikTok as well as my Facebook. Well, a little kid wants to decide to be funny and say something on my Instagram. So I got in on his ass. Okay. Now, some of you may not agree, adults shouldn't be fussing and fighting with children. But these children in 2025, they're not regular kids. Okay, they're not regular kids, and those are the same kids that's going into these schools and shoot them up, bang bang, and bullying other children and doing all this other nonsense. Watch your kids. Now, I will say, okay, because I am a parent, I don't know every single thing that my child is doing. And you may not either. Okay, that's fine. But when you see your child get cursed out by a grown adult because your child act like they're grown, don't go to that adult. Whoop your kid's ass. Okay, these kids are out of hand. These kids are out of control. My curse out has no limitations. I will curse out man, woman, and or child. Okay, these kids are unruly, and I have no time for it. I have no patience for it. Get your kids. You want to be in grown folks' business, you're going to be treated like a grown folk. Okay. Now, listen, again, you may not agree. That is perfectly fine. Get your kids. Okay. I will whoop a little kid's ass. All right. Excuse my language, but I will. Okay. These kids are disrespectful. Get your kids, watch your kids, and monitor your kids. Okay. All right, now let's get down to why we're really here, okay? And I'm going to do my very, very, very best to articulate my point as much as possible, thoroughly as possible, and in the most authentic way, because I'm on this journey of just being fully transparent and honest, not only with myself, but with the world. And I think the world needs to be a lot more transparent and honest, okay? Now, and I'm going to say this too. There may be some followers that may not agree on what I'm about to say on this topic. And if you no longer want to support me, if you no longer want to follow me, that is absolutely okay. We're not all meant to be liked. We're not all meant to agree. And that's perfectly fine. Just exit respectfully and we don't have a problem. Now, here's my stance and my opinion on everything that has gone on within the last couple of days. Just to give a brief synopsis of what's been going on, I did not know who Charlie Kicker was either. Okay, prior to this, some people may have known, but I'll be honest, I didn't know who he was. Right, I had no clue who this man was. I've never seen a video of him. If I did, I probably bypassed him and was not in agreement with anything that he stood for. So I just probably bypassed him. But I do not remember ever seeing him. He believed in a lot of strong, opinionated things regarding the Black community, regarding the LGBTQ community, regarding women's rights, and those things. Charlie Kicker was at a event in Utah, a Utah campus, school campus, college campus, where he was speaking, and he was shot in the neck. There was I'm sure millions of people have seen the video by now. If you are living under a rock, you need to go Google. But the video is plastered everywhere, and it's insane that someone actually got the footage of the video. But it was very disheartening to see uh, in real time. I mean, just that's the kind of stuff you see on the movies, right? In the movies, right? So it was very disheartening to see. It was very just tragic to see, right? And he got shot in the neck and he died shortly after. There was a sniper that shot him. We don't know who yet. We don't know why. I haven't seen who. They're suspects, right? That they're thinking of, that they're trying to get information on. The last thing I seen yesterday was another new suspect that had a hat on. They thought that he had like a rifle in his pants, pant leg or whatever. So they're still trying to weed out, from what I have seen and known of in this present time. They're still trying to get an accurate suspect of who this may be. Some people say they have video of the sniper running on top of a building after the shot was made. So we don't know. We don't know if it was a white person, Black person, Asian. We don't know. Most people are suspecting that it's white on white crime, allegedly. We don't know. He left behind two children, if I'm not mistaken, and he also was married, so he has a wife. And I do feel very, very bad for the children. Any child who does not, or children who will not have the ability to have their parent around, alive or dead. Any child or children who are not able to have both parents in their life is always a sad situation. any wife or husband that has their significant other taken away from them is always a bad thing. So that I can agree with. It's very disheartening that those children will not have their biological father anymore, and his wife will no longer have her husband. Um, with that being said, the history of Charlie Kicker and what I have seen as far as the videos and what he stands for is the complete opposite of what I stand for. And with that, that is why it's hard for me to have any empathy or be empathetic towards his killing. There are a lot of people on social media who feel like, regardless of what anyone believes opposite of you, it is never a reason for someone to die. People are allowed to have their own opinions, and it doesn't. Um, it's never a okay to kill them because someone thinks opposite of you. Okay, the videos that I've seen on social media of Charlie Kicker and the things that he has stated was very disrespectful, very distasteful. Um, and I'm speaking of his beliefs, right? Against the Black community, against LGBTQ, against women's rights. The videos that I have seen, because of course everybody started posting all of his videos and what he stood for, and pretty much there were a lot of people that were saying, "Listen, it's a bad situation, but let's remember, right? Let's remember who this man really was." And again, I did not know who he was prior to this, right? I did not know who he was prior to this. I did not know what he stood for prior to this. I am solely basing my opinion and my feelings off of what has surfaced thus far and what has happened within the last 2 days. Given that, right, the information that I have seen, there was a video I've seen where he was, I think, at another college campus, and he stated that he doesn't, or why should Black people get reparation? Why should why should him as a white man have to pay more money to Black people over white people working harder, right? Pretty much stating, why do you deserve reparation? Okay. Um, there was another video I seen regarding women. He stated that women should not, and I'm going to paraphrase everything, but you can absolutely Google and look it up. It's all there. But he stated that women should not put so much force and so much care into being career women and dedicate themselves more to their husbands, put all that energy into their husbands, and pretty much just be, a wife and a mother instead of trying to be a woman of a career status, right? We should pretty much just give all energy to husbands and just play our role as women. Another video I seen, he was talking about, oh man, it was three videos on three different topics. There was the Black community, there was the LGBTQ, no, oh wait, I can't remember. It was three videos. Um, but pretty much what he stood for, which was very ironic, what he stood for is really how the way he passed away. He was all for guns, and some people say this is not a gun issue. Some people say it is a gun issue. But what I find ironic and what I find very interesting is he believed in guns. He believed in our Second Amendment, our right to bear arm. And there was a statement or there was a video where he said, listen, and again, I'm paraphrasing, but look it up. He was okay with there being a few deaths in the United States by the hands of a gun, if that means we're still allowed to bear arms. So he's okay with people dying because that gives us our ability to still exercise our right to bear arms. I think what a lot of politicians do, and not even just politicians, but as regular people, a lot of times we are so focused on what we want, right? We are so focused on voting on what we want or voting against what we don't want, but not understanding that what you want or what you don't want is going to affect somebody else, which then can initially affect you as well. You wanted guns so bad. You wanted the ability and the right to carry arm. Yet you didn't understand and realize that you're also giving the bad people who are going to use those guns for bad, you're also giving them the ability to use that gun against you, which is what happened. I am not stating that I am in agreement with Charlie Kicker being shot. I am not gloating. And that is something else that I'm going to address as well, because that seems to be the big thing in social media, that people feel like because there are other people that are not showing any empathy, because people are not showing any sadness towards what happened to him, that we are gloating and celebrating. Nobody's gloating or celebrating. It is a tragic situation to see that. But again, let's be fully honest and transparent. That wasn't a good man in a lot of people's eyes. It is very hard to show empathy towards someone who was a bad person. It is very hard to show empathy towards someone who didn't even who thought less of you as a human because you were Black. I am not saying that Charlie Kicker is a racist or was a racist. However, I am going to say that he was not the biggest fan of the Black community. If you don't think of me as equal, or if you don't feel and understand and empathize with the Black community and what they have had to deal with all of these years and what they still have to deal with because of what has happened in the slavery years, if you don't feel any empathy or sympathy or understanding of a community, and you don't feel that I am deserving, and you don't feel that I am equal to you or should get the same opportunities as you, why am I showing empathy that you are no longer here? There is no connection. Amanda Seales said it best. And now listen, Amanda, she been on her A game lately. And she said it best. How can anyone have any empathy for someone? There's no connection. I don't know you. And some people may feel like, well, you don't have to know someone to feel sad. You're absolutely right. But it's very hard for me to feel for you when you never liked me. It's very hard for me to feel for you when you were always against me and my people. It's very hard for you. It's very hard for someone to feel empathy for someone who feels like I don't have a right as a woman to do what I want to do with my body and the decisions that I want to make with my body. There was a quote that someone said that he stated, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I did see this several times, where someone asked him if his daughter was raped, um, if she and she got pregnant, would he allow her to get an abortion? And this is something that was said. I'm not sure this is true. I'm going to say alleged, but he was still in agreement with the child having the child, a child having a child, because he doesn't believe in abortion. Again, I don't know how true that is. You can go find that quote if you like. But what I'm saying is, if these things have been said, and there are videos, some of these things I'm stating, you will have to look and research. But some of these things I am stating, as far as videos I have seen with my own eyeballs, okay? And what I have seen, I don't like. But again, it doesn't mean that I am okay with what happened. It doesn't mean that I am gloating. It doesn't mean I am celebrating. And to be very honest, because again, a lot of people are on social media stating that if you are excited and you're celebrating that this man passed away, block me or delete me or don't follow me. I have not seen, and I'm going to be very honest, I have not seen up and down my timeline between Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and whatever other platform. I have not seen people celebrating or gloating. I have not. What I am seeing is that people are bringing the awareness that, hey, before you shed a tear, understand that man didn't really care about you in the first place. If you think that is wrong, so be it. You're entitled to how you feel, but guess what? Other people are also entitled to how they feel. Some people question if this is a gun law situation, if this would have happened if he and others didn't push so much to be able to have that Second Amendment. Here's my thing with the whole gun law. I'm either with it or without it. I don't care. Why? Because there's other ways I can get at you. There's other ways and other things I can use to protect myself. So I'm either with it or without it. I've lived in a state where carrying guns was not allowed, and I currently live in a state where you're allowed to carry a gun. So either way, it doesn't matter to me. My thing is this: we're so worried about being able to protect ourselves, yet we're not worried about all of these gun shootings that's been going on in these schools. I live in Texas. You want to make a law for these children not to use their cell phones. You feel like using your cell phone is the worst. So let's ban using cell phones. But there's no harsh laws regarding guns. Where's the priority? Where is the importance? You're worried about a child being on their phone and recording, but you're not worried about these kids having the access to guns to bring to these schools to then shoot them up. Like, what are or even adults, grown adults. Just last month, I want to say, we heard about the gun shooting of the Catholic school and these young babies getting killed because of an idiot. So instead of being focused on you having the right to protect yourself, can we also be focused on protecting others and protecting these schools and having more stricter gun laws than worried about a goddamn cell phone? The other thing that I want to go back to regarding Charlie is there was also another quote that he stated that, or another statement that he said, and again, you'd have to research it, but pretty much stating that empathy was a weak emotion, right? So there was someone who made a very good point. He wouldn't even want us to be empathetic towards him and what happened because he feel like that's a weak emotion. So again, the things that he stood for, ironically, he died by. It seems like the last couple of days has just been so emotional and so tragic. Along with Charlie Kicker's death, then there comes 3 HBCU colleges that received threats and are on lockdown: Virginia State, Alabama State, and Hampton University. And or Alabama State University, Hampton University, and Virginia State University. Um, I made a video yesterday, and I just really, again, being fully transparent, we have to be with ourselves and the world. I made a video and I said Charlie Kicker passed away due to allegedly white on white crime, right? Then turn around within the same 24 hours, maybe there's 3 HBCUs, okay, which is historically black colleges, if you don't know, or universities, are now receiving threats and are on lockdown. Ironically, within the same 24 hours of Charlie Kicker, now there's threats on the colleges and they're locked down. How we get into this? And I had someone come under my video and say, I pretty much brought racism into it. You don't think, first of all, we have to stop acting like racism is still not alive and well in 2025. Let's start there. We have to stop acting like racism is not here. Racism has been here, and more than likely it's never going to go anywhere. Furthermore, the fact that a lot of people feel, not all, but a lot of people feel that black people are the ones bringing racism into a situation is absolutely insane to me, because you bring it to us first. You don't think it's ironic. You don't think it's ironic. Now there are 3 HBCUs on lockdown due to threats. You couldn't pick any other kind of colleges? I mean, any colleges is wrong. But it just so happens to be not 1, not 2, but 3 black colleges are now receiving threats. You don't think that's a retaliation due to Charlie Kicker's death? Come on now. Yes, I could be completely wrong. This could be a completely far-fetched idea. But let's be real. Let's be real with ourselves. You don't think that there's no connection there? And it really baffles me and it quite irritates me that when a black person points out the obvious, we're the ones trying to bring racism into it. No, you don't want to acknowledge it. You don't want to understand and agree and confirm that racism is still very much alive in 2025. You want to drive over it. You want to roll over it. You want to pass over it like it doesn't exist, and it does. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to tell you, but there are people in this world that still do not like the color of my skin. Don't know anything about me, don't know anything about him, don't know anything about her, don't even know their first name, don't even know their date of birth. But because they are black, they are not liked. There are people in this world that are willing to retaliate against you because they don't like you and what you look like and what you stand for. And if that means they have to do something to you or your people, they will. I am sorry to tell you, but you need to wake your ass the hell up because this is facts. You can't tell me that there's no possible connection to that. After this man just passed away, not even 24 hours, 3 black colleges are on lockdown due to threats. Y'all got to wake up. Y'all have to wake up. I know you don't want to deal with it. I know this is not your cup of tea. I know this is not, it's so many other things. You got so many other things to worry about. Listen, I do too. Trust and believe. I do too. But unfortunately, this is the world we live in. Unfortunately, this is the man who you voted for in office. You don't think it's ironic how all of these things are happening once he got into office? I'm not saying that these things didn't happen, these topics, these situations wasn't a thing before. But within it's September. We got a long way to go. It is only September. This man got into office in January. It is only September, and hell has risen. And for you to think that there is no correlation and no relation to that, you are absolutely insane and delusional. Stop trying to reprimand Black people for calling it what it is. Charlie Kicker's death is unfortunate. It is not something to gloat about. It is not something to be excited about. Those children will not have their father. That woman will no longer have her husband. That is a tragic thing. And from my understanding, those kids and his wife was there. And if they visually seen that, that is something that they will have to live with the rest of their life. And they're going to need help. They're going to need mental therapy. Because that is something that you will never be able to get out of your mind. It is a tragic thing. But 2 things can be true. That can be a sad event and that can be a sad situation. And I can also not feel empathy. It's just like someone saying to a woman who got raped by her father and her father passed away. And a family member telling her, "But that's still your father." Girl, what? You want that girl to have empathy for a man who took something from her, a man who violated her, a man who now has caused her trauma in her life. You want her to feel empathy because he's no longer here because that is her father? I'm convinced a lot of y'all are trash. I'm convinced a lot of y'all are trash in this world. Again, if you don't agree with my opinions, that is absolutely fine. You are welcome to exit stage left. Just do it respectfully, because I will clap back. But you're welcome to leave. You're welcome to unfollow. You're welcome to no longer support. But I'm sorry, I don't have any empathy. I don't. I don't have any empathy for someone who doesn't feel and believe and understand my community, who don't feel I deserve the same opportunities. I don't have empathy for someone who feel like I should be somebody's housewife and that's it. I don't believe or have empathy for someone who is not understanding that if something happened to me sexually that was not that I did not approve of, I'm not allowed to take the option of getting an abortion because I don't want to have a child by someone who took advantage of me. I'm not in support or have any empathy for people like that. And I want to say this, and this also is in reference to me. You have to be careful with what you say to the public. I am not saying that because you feel a certain way, someone else has a right to in your life, but you also have to be aware that there are people out there that want to do things to you if they don't agree with you. And you have to be prepared and understand if you step into this particular light, there could be consequences, unfortunately. Do you want to continue going down that road? Again, I am not saying that you have the right to kill someone because you guys don't agree. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is you have to be understanding of the territory you're walking into. Politics is a very emotional thing. Politics can be a very dangerous thing. There are people who will not agree with you and they want to put hands on you. It is very unfortunate, but that is unfortunately how it is. And you have to be willing and understand if I walk down this road, some things can happen to me or my kids. Do I want to go down this political road or do I want to take another career path? And I'm also saying that for myself. I am a person who stands up for what she believes in. I am a person, I've always been this person. You can ask my family. I've always been this person who always stood for what she believed in. And I did not care what you had to say. You will not shut my mouth. I have a right. My ancestors fought for me to have a right to speak for myself, and I will do that. The difference is, though, the difference is you have people who will stand up for their rights, but their rights also means demolishing somebody else's existence. And that's what I don't agree with. Regardless of what I may feel about some white people, not all, I want to clarify that because in past videos on my social media, people want to call me a racist and this because I call out white people. Listen, if I'm calling you out because you've done something, you want to call me a racist, I don't give a shit. That's fine. I'm not, but go ahead. Whatever makes you sleep at night. But I don't think all white people are bad. I don't. However, I will call you out on your shit. But in me calling you out, I don't want anything to happen to you. I don't want anything to happen to your family. And that's the difference. There are a lot of people and politicians in this world that your opinions also affects that person's livelihood. Your opinion also affects that person's existence. And that's something I don't advocate for. I may not like what you have done to me or my people, but I'm not asking for you to no longer exist. I'm not asking for certain systems to be taken away from you so that you're not able to work. I'm not asking for certain things to happen to you so that you won't be able to live. I just simply don't like what you're doing to me or what you're doing to my people. But I will never advocate for because I don't like you or because I don't agree with what you're doing. I'm not going to advocate for you no longer to exist. I'm not going to advocate for you to no longer be able to live and have and make money. That's the difference. A lot of these people, you're doing things that's going to take away from my living, my existing. Systematically, economically, you're dwindling down and decreasing my ability to survive and be successful in this world. That's the difference. I am aware of my voice and I'm aware that some people may not like my voice. And I'm aware that there are crazy fools out here that may, God forbid, God and never, God forbid it ever reaches to that point. But I'm also aware that there are crazy people in this world that may try to harm me or mine because I have a voice. And guess what? I'm still going to speak. I'm a rebel. I was born in the rebel generation. I was born in 1987. We don't take no shit. We realize that we have voices and they need to be heard. And I'm not going to not speak because you don't like what I have to say. I am going to protect minds and I'm going to say what I feel I need to say to protect minds. And if someone wants to do something or be about something because they don't like what I have to say, I'm acknowledging the world that I'm in. Run up. I'm not inviting it. I'm not advocating for it. But what I am saying is I am going to be a voice. I'm going to use my voice and my platform. What is going on in this world is wrong. Your feelings against the African American community is wrong. Let people live. Let people be successful. Stop trying to stop people systematically or economically because you don't like the color of their skin. That can be black, white, Hispanic. This overturning of racial profiling is insane to me. Yet there are people in this world that still feel like there's no racism or racism doesn't exist anymore. But we're the racists for calling it out. What? What is going on? There's no way I could have survived with my ancestors back then, baby. I would have been out. I would have been out the game because you're not going to tell me nothing. You're not going to tell me nothing. You're not going to make me do nothing. Baby, I would have been the first one in the grave because you're not, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You don't have the right to tell me what I can and cannot do. You don't have the right to stop me because you don't like the color of my skin. You don't have the right to stop my children because of the color of their skin. You don't have a right to tell me what I can and cannot do because I'm a female and you want to dominate me as a male. You don't have I'm not giving you that right. I'm not giving you that permission. I'm not giving you that confirmation. I will say this again. What happened to Charlie Kicker was so unfortunate. But we also have to understand that what he stood for was not okay. What he stood for and what he felt about the LGBTQ community and what he felt about the Black community and what he felt about women's rights was not okay. So give people grace, or you don't have to give them grace. Don't give them grace, but respect somebody else's opinion. Respect somebody else's thought process of not having empathy for this man. We could respect Charlie's, feel, because I'm sure someone will. How can you say that, but y'all not gonna respect how you can feel how you want to feel. Charlie Kicker felt how he felt, but again, as long as how you feel does not hinder me from being successful and does not stop me from making money in this world, have your emotions and have your feelings all you want. But the minute that your feelings for me and who I am, whether I'm a woman or that I'm Black, the minute that your feelings stop me from succeeding, stop me from getting a job, stop me from being successful, the minute that happens, I have no empathy for you. That's all I have to say, guys. That is my take. That is my thoughts and opinions on this Charlie Kicker situation. I'm going to try. It's very hard because, again, I'm a very opinionated person. I really like to speak on things that I'm passionate about. And I'm passionate about somebody trying to tell me how I should feel. I'm very passionate about somebody trying to tell me what to do. But I'm going to try to keep all of my thoughts and opinions here on this podcast. And so, again, this is my thoughts. This is my opinions of how I felt regarding Charlie Kicker's death, regarding the racism that's going on still in this world. And just regarding, politicians and the rules and things that's going on in that White House, Lord. It's a lot. But again, if you don't agree, you're welcome to that. I do not expect everyone to agree with me. I do not expect everyone to like me. But what I want you to understand is I don't care if you don't agree with me. I don't care if you don't like me. I'm here for the ones who agree. I'm here for the ones who can understand. I'm here for the ones who can agree to disagree in a healthy and respectful way. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Again, make sure you guys check out my website, monescurvyclosetllc. Make sure you guys download this podcast and give me some feedback. Again, I will always reiterate and I will always forewarn you. You're welcome to leave a comment and say what you feel. But understand, I am one of those who will clap back at you. And when I'm done, you'll either get blocked or you will not get responded to. So comment at your own risk. Again, thank you guys so much for your support and your love. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, I'll catch you on another podcast and on another YouTube video. Bye, y'all.
I've been heavy on my grind, putting value on my time.